Dinkum recently released a massive update called The Great Bite, and there's so much new content to cover. We got a brand new area to explore, critters can now be placed in display tanks, and there's this invisible glider that makes you feel like Superman or a fairy. I know this update has been out for a while now, but I only got a chance to dive into it a few days ago, so let's go through everything that's been added. In this video, I'll walk you through all of the additions and changes made in the game. I'll be showing a mix of footage from both my regular island and my creative mode island, so almost all of the new items will be shown here. So if you'd rather discover some things yourself, maybe skip ahead to the sections you are curious about. There are timestamps and subtitles available in this video. Let's start with the new quality of life features and rebalancing changes. First up, we now have new map markers. Previously, we only had around 8 choices, but this update added several new icons: a paw print, a hammer, utensils, and a trap icon. I especially love the trap icon because I have areas where I placed traps, and now I can replace the skull icon I was using. I also used the skull icon to mark where I died so other players on my island could find and revive me. Now I have a separate icon for traps and can keep the skull for marking death locations. I can also use the paw icon when I want to catch or domesticate animals like plunks and boricoots. Sometimes I'm out exploring and spot a boricoot in the wild, but I forget to bring my domestic crate, and now I can just mark it with the paw icon and return later. Another improvement is that you can now sort the map by landmarks, vehicles, custom icons, or none at all. This helps keep your map clean, especially if you have lots of icons scattered around and you need to find your vehicle quickly. Another thing I noticed is that crafting ingredient tracking now updates in real time. Previously, if you pinned the recipe ingredients while crafting or building something, the ingredient tracker wouldn't update while you were inside your storage chest UI. Even if you already grabbed the required materials, the list would stay the same until you exited the storage menu. But now, it updates immediately, even while you're still inside the storage UI, which is honestly really convenient. I'm not actually sure if this was added specifically in this update or if I somehow missed it in the previous one, but either way, I really appreciate it. Most players already know about bug books and fish books that let us track and identify creatures around us. But something that's bothered me for a long time is that there was no book for critters, even though critters are part of what you need to complete the museum. Thankfully, now they've added the critter book, which you can buy from the museum. It rotates in stock with the bug and fish books. Once you have all 3 books, you can even craft an encyclopedia that lets you see all fish, bugs, and critters using just one book instead of dedicating 3 inventory slots. The encyclopedia can be crafted at a special crafting table found only in the new island, which I will talk about later. Speaking of critters, they can now finally be placed on the ground just like this. This is something I've always wanted, and I'm very happy to see critters getting some love in this update. You can now also buy a tent from John's shop. This is a portable item that you can place down and use to sleep anywhere. It's especially useful early game when you're still exploring far away from your base and don't have things like teleporters or gliders yet. Instead of risking passing out while trying to run all the way home late at night with low stamina, you can simply place the tent and sleep. If you noticed, I'm currently wearing a flower crown while also having the butterfly buddy flying around my character. Previously, this wasn't possible because you had to equip the flower crown and the butterfly perfume in your face slot for this to happen. But now, if you visit Sally's salon, there's an option to accessorize your character. It lets you add another accessory to your face, and it supports select items including jewelry, fake beards, body accessories, and face bandages. So now you can be more creative with your character. You can wear jewelry or a beard and still have a hat, or you can have 2 buddies following you around. Another small quality of life change affects the metal detector level 2. Previously, X marks would still appear on placed paths, even though you couldn't actually dig them up without removing the path first. Now, X marks will no longer appear on your paths. This is especially nice for players who like making clean and organized islands with carefully designed roads and pathways. It personally never bothered me too much since my island design leans more natural, but I know a lot of players are going to appreciate this change. I've never really figured out the use of termite mounts and termite nests. But now, if you destroy a termite mound, you can plant the termite nest and it will grow another termite mound after a few days. I still have no idea what to use termite mounds for other than decoration though. I guess I can scatter a few of this around my island for contrast and visual interest with different rock types. But if you know other uses for termite nests and mounds, let me know in the comments. With all these quality of life features added, there's one rebalancing change that affects my gameplay significantly because I rely on it as a quick source of income when I need extra dings. And this is the rebalancing of capture animal delivery rewards. From a previous update, animal traps are no longer auto-delivered when placed near an animal trap collection point like I used to do. And on top of that, with this update, the rewards have been reduced by 30%, which is huge. I'm a little sad about this nerf because it was one of my favorite quick income methods whenever I needed extra dings. Then we have some new craftable items that you can obtain or commission from NPCs. We now have an improved stone grinder, which processes materials faster than the standard stone grinder, and this also gives an increased output for some items. There's the fish burley box, which attracts nearby fish when placed in water. Secateurs, which allows you to trim plants in flower beds easily without risking accidentally picking up your flower beds too. Then the Borikut whistle, which calls Borikuts to your location, just like what the other whistles do. There's also now a way to control the direction of a train once you have one, using this switch railway track. This can change the direction left, right, or forward, but the direction cannot be changed while reversing. Then we have a brand new structure called the servo. You can commission this from Franklin and it requires a new crafting material called Old Bowser, which looks like this. Old Bowser can be found on all floors of the mine, though it's quite rare and I haven't found one yet myself. Using the servo, you can recall a vehicle from anywhere on your map. For example, I can choose between my helicopter and my motorcycle, then summon the vehicle to the servo location. As someone who tends to leave my vehicles everywhere, this is incredibly convenient. They've also added more reasons for us to pick up shells along the beach. In a previous update, NPCs already started requesting shells occasionally, but now there's also a rare chance to obtain a giant shell while collecting them. This item is pretty rare and I personally haven't found one yet myself. It can be displayed or sold at John's shop for a large amount of money. So if you usually ignore shells on the beach, you might want to start picking them up now. Speaking of NPC requests, villagers now have a wider variety of requests as well. You can now receive requests for things like wattle tea, bottle brush tea, fruits, random relics, and even requests asking you to buy tools from John's shop. If you were getting tired of seeing the same repetitive tasks over and over again, there's at least a bit more variety now. Every day 1 to day 7 of summer, starting from year 2 onwards, there is an existing anniversary event at John's shop where you can sell fish to receive tickets that you can exchange for exclusive event items. With this latest update, there are some new exclusive items to collect from this event, including this beautiful fairy light pergola that would fit my island really well. We also have 2 new hats, the cork hat and the sport helmet. Then we have new plushies, a penguin, a plebe, and a binchug. There are also a small youth and a new blue fence and carpet path. Now let's talk about the biggest part of this update, the brand new island called the Great Bight, which is filled with cliffs, creatures, and hidden treasures. To reach this new destination, you need to have an airport in your island and pay 250,000 dings for a boarding pass. The boarding pass can take you either to the island reef or the Great Bight depending on your departure time. The plane also had a look upgrade and now has better seats to wait in while you wait for the new island to load. The Great Bight is filled with cliffs, but thankfully, there are climbable cliff faces everywhere allowing you to reach the top. There are some new plants and resources found only on the Great Bight, which I really like since it gives more variety to my island decoration that uses a lot of plants. We have a new flower called the pig face in 3 different colors, 2 new bush, and a new type of tree. Rare insects and fish for the current season appear much more frequently on the Great Bight, so if you're still trying to complete your museum, this is a good place to do it. However, make sure you are fully prepared with food buffs and good weapons when you come here. because you will encounter a lot of alpha animals everywhere. On another note, having a lot of alpha animals here is also convenient because in the Great Bite, you will see Ted Selly, who makes weapons using the drops of alpha animals. You will hear the familiar whistle when you are near his camp, and once you find him, you can ask him to make these weapons for you like what you would normally do when you find him in your island. However, there's also two more unique crafting stations that can be used in his camp. The first is the Hunter's Crafting Table. One of my favorites from the Hunter's Crafting Table is the scooter. It lets you travel fast on land, and I think it's as fast as riding a glider. It's really easy to use and even makes this cool turning effect when you jump. This can be stored in your pocket and ridden instantly, so you don't need to worry about forgetting your vehicle in some random place. The next item you can get is the Encyclopedia, which we talked about earlier. It's crafted using the Bug Book, Fish Book, and Critter Book. Using this single book, you can see all fish, critters, and bugs around you. There's been one minor adjustment though. The range of all books has been decreased, but I think it's still a very handy book to have. Then we have the Medkit, which heals all players within approximately 3 tiles. So not only you, but if you're playing multiplayer, it will also heal other players. This can be used up to 15 times and can be repaired at the repair table. Your normal first aid kit can only be used 3 times and cannot be repaired, so this is a huge upgrade. Next is the Black Pocket Watch. If you use it, it sets a 4 a.m. wake-up alarm for the next day so you can start your island activities earlier. This watch is especially useful for days when you're going on a mining trip, to the island reef, or to the Great Bite since it gives you several extra hours. Then we have the Hunter's Helmet. When you equip this, there's a 1 in 6 chance to nullify physical attacks. We also have the Tome of Wounding, a magic weapon that fires 3 projectiles at once. The fire rate is quite fast, though it does consume stamina like your other weapons. Then we have an upgraded version of the Plant Hammer, the Alpha Plant Hammer. On use, it generates multiple toxic vines around the player to deal area damage, and poison targets take continuous damage for a set duration. Then we have the Alpha Battlefish, which is an upgraded version of the Battlefish. On use, it generates multiple blasts of water around the player to deal area damage. The Orb of Stars is a single-use item that summons a meteor shower the following night. If I use it today, tomorrow night I'll get a meteor shower. Then we have the Auto Animal Trap. This trap doesn't need an animal trap collection point anymore. It just delivers the animal right away. Then we have another favorite, the Invisible Glider. If you match it with the right outfit, you can feel like a fairy. There are also capes in this game, so you can feel like Superman as well. But just look at me. I really feel like a fairy and I love it so much. The Invisible Glider does require almost all of the rare gliders found in the game to craft, so it will take a while before I can get this in my main save file. But look, even when I'm just standing on the ground, my feet are floating and I'm hovering in the air. It feels like I'm flying all the time. This is really one of the items I really want to get from this update. There are also 2 weapons that you could previously ask Ted Selly to craft, but now you can only craft them on your own using the Hunter's Crafting Table, the Star Saber, and the Ice Hammer. It's actually nice because if you use the Hunter's Crafting Table, you don't need to pay any dinks to Ted Selly. You can just craft it if you have enough materials. Those are the things you can craft from the Hunter's Crafting Table, but I mentioned earlier that there are 2 new stations in Ted Selly's camp. And the other table is for swag pack customization. Once you have the swag pack, an item that can be obtained very rarely from one of the chests in the Hot mine, it expands your storage. It's like carrying one chest all the time and it appears on your character like this. To use it, just hover over it and left click and it becomes extra storage. Before this update, there was only one appearance for the swag pack, but now, using the swag pack customization table at the Hunter's Camp, you can customize your swag pack into a bunch of different designs. Let me show you them one by one. First, we have the Burger Pack. Then we have the Jackaroo Pack, which looks just like your regular swag pack but with a little jackaroo in it. There's the Crate Pack, a Flame Jelly Pack which is so cute and looks so squishy, a Handbag Pack that you wear over one shoulder, then a Boombox Pack, a Messenger Bag, Then a guitar pack, which is one of my favorites. A bum bag pack if you want a belt bag. A hard bag, and to be honest, I was expecting this to be something I carry with my hands, like a wheeled luggage, but I guess that would be hard to animate on the character. Next, we have a tote bag. I do wish there was a way to recolor the tote bag because I think it's really cute, but I don't like the color. And lastly, another one of my favorites along with the guitar pack, we have the camera pack. While you are in Ted's camp, you can also pick up his Billiken kit and hunter's tool if you want to bring them home. This Billiken kit uses a lot of materials, so it's nice to be able to grab one from Ted's camp. Another thing you should keep an eye out for while in the Great Bight are these lighthouses. You can find 4 to 5 of these per trip. You can power a lighthouse using a hot cylinder, then it will illuminate the surrounding area and reveal the location of nearby treasure. Repairing a lighthouse for the first time rewards you with the lighthouse crafting recipe, so you can place one on your own island too, which is a nice decoration near bodies of water. For the next part, let's talk about the other new clothing, decorations, and structures that came with this update. Let's start with new clothing and accessories. This can be obtained through Clover Shop, NPC Gifts, the Recycling Bin, and via mail from NPC friends. These include 3 accessories, disguise glasses, sunnies, and cat ears. And we have 3 different kinds of hats and 7 new types of dresses. My favorite is this green petal dress that my character is wearing right now. It comes in other colors too, purple and pink. We also have 2 new shoes, dark cottage shoes and brown cottage shoes. For new decorations and props, we have the hunter's tool, which you can take from Ted Sally's camp. Then we have this wheelie bean, some small accessories like a chopping board, a candle, and a cup with pencils. Then we have 3 new cushion types that you can actually use as chairs. Then there are these souvenirs, the lighthouse, the airship, and shark statue souvenirs. For new structures, we have 2 new types of fences, and I really like this one on the right. We also have 2 new pergolas, the vine pergola and marble pergola. I love all the pergolas in this game, but the fairy light and vine are probably my favorite right now. Then we have a lot of new paths. We have bright gravel path and white brick path. We also have smooth paths, which are available in 10 different colors. Here are some examples. Then we have a white brick flower bed and a tire planter, which you can use to plant flowers. We also have a tire bench that you can sit on. And for signs, we have 3 new ones. A yellow sign, a blue one, and a white one. For the blue and white signs, you need the sign writing pen to write on them, but for the yellow one, you can just display the item you are holding. Another one of my favorite new structure is this matching steps. At first, you'll only see a brown color from your inventory, but it changes depending on which ground you place it on. For example, if I put it on this type of path, it changes and it will always match the tile below it. I love making natural looking paths, so having stairs that automatically match your flooring is fantastic. Your stairs won't look out of place compared to your paths. Overall, the Great Bight update adds a ton of new content to Dinkum. Between the new island to explore, quality of life improvements, the expanded customization options, and all the new crafting recipes and items, there's plenty here for both new and returning players. What are your thoughts on the Great Bight update, and what's your favorite new addition? Let me know in the comments. If you are new to the game or are getting back to it after a while and want some refresher, you can watch this next video for some beginner tips and tricks.